So when you first read the game, what did that trigger in your mind, and how did that start your process to learning and then teaching?
So I didn't know that I could do it, but in my brain I said there's a way out. It was like living in a jail cell, and there's all these like little things, like this, like four walls of cement in a jail cell, and you don't know how to get out. And one day you see a crack in the wall, and you find a spoon, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I probably can't dig out of this jail cell with a spoon, but let me start digging because there's a crack in the wall, and I don't know when I'm going to get another chance, and I have no other options. Everything else I tried has worked. So I just started digging my way out, and it was horrible. I remember the first few times I couldn't even like make conversation with a stranger on the street. I couldn't ask an old lady for directions. I couldn't like look somebody in the eye when I'm ordering a coffee at the coffee shop. Lots of fake phone numbers, lots of fake, things. I had lots of nights coming home, totally defeated, walking home for an hour because I didn't have bus fare, and like crying my head to sleep on a pillow. Like literally just like bawling my eyes out, being like, what did I do? What could I have done? What did I do wrong? How could I be better? Why is it always like this? And I just went for it, bro. And I think, I don't really know if there was a lesson that I learned. I think it was just so much pain that I was trying to avoid, and that's what just drove me. The running away from the pain is what drove me to excellence. At some point, it was like, I want to be the best in the world. That was my goal at some point, but it wasn't like that in the beginning. It was just like literally just like survival mode in the beginning.
Yeah. First, take care of yourself, right? And then at what point? Okay, so and to sum it up, so the book showed you, like it did for me, that it's possible to break out of the pattern that you're in. That you don't have to identify with your results, even though the results have been dissatisfying. That doesn't mean that you are those results. That's just the results you were getting. And then this book showed you, wait, there is a method. Just like there's martial arts, there's the Venusian arts, as they say, right? And it showed that there is a way to be able to build relationships, not just even sexually, just in general. Like you said, sometimes when we have anxiety, it's like just asking for directions is hard, right? Forget even finding a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, right? It's social interaction, it's social anxiety that so many people have. It's more than just a helping guys get girls mission. It's a helping humans interact with humans mission, right? I think it's just the first incarnation of it was in the courtship relationship field, right? But the problem is so much bigger than that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100% agree, bro. And as you said, it was like I realized it wasn't me. Maybe that came from the Tony Robbins part. The Tony Robbins thing told me that, he says your past doesn't equal your future. So maybe from that kind of Tony Robbins base that we both had, I was like, okay, maybe I'm just missing the information and I'm not the problem. It was the first time I realized that, like, maybe I'm not the one. I just got to like change what I'm doing. And if I do something different, maybe I can have a different result, which a lot of people don't believe in life. Like a lot of the world is just based on what happens to you. Is like, it's meant to be what it's meant to be. You ever heard this like this astrology kind of stuff? Like if it happens, it's meant to happen. And my counter logical argument to that is, do kids in Africa deserve to starve? Do people who get cancer deserve to have cancer? No. So in the universe, what's meant to be isn't always what's meant to be. It's not what you deserve. So you can now come in as a free agent into your own life. And in some situations, you can change what is happening. And I didn't know that was possible. And I was like, maybe I could do that. Maybe if I change myself, I could have a different result. That was mind blowing at the time. At the time, that kind of idea process didn't exist. Like nowadays, we're like, yeah, law of attraction or whatever. Like none of this was out there. Law of attraction wasn't out there. All these methods weren't out there. Nothing was out there like that before. Like there was nothing. There was really no industry for it. And I was like, maybe I can be the agent of change in my own life. This is interesting. Oh,
yes.
Okay, somebody else did it, so I can model what that guy did, and I can cut years off my learning curve. He did it in 10, and I can do it in 5 because he's taken all the lessons and condensed them down. And I can go practice this, and then I can get the same result in less time. That's what you're telling me? That's what you're telling me? What? And I was like the heavens parted. I was like, oh. And during that time, let me tell you, my first guys that I went out with, my friends, I ended up like moving in with them. All these guys also got into Bitcoin at the exact same time. Like half of my friends are millionaires, and I have 3 people that I know that have public IPO companies, okay, on the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
And I realized with all of them, they told me the exact same thing. They realized that they can get a competitive advantage in an area. And that's what social dynamics was to them. And that's also what Bitcoin was. And they trained their brain to realize that stuff early, you know? And it took a certain kind of person to be like, the world's working this way, but I can learn something and improve and accelerate in an area, like a soft skill. The same way you would go when you would learn mathematics to be an accountant, or you learn Excel to be an accountant, or you learn how to, go to a basketball coach, learn how to dribble. You can also improve yourself and your mindset and your social dynamic skills to be able to go and then like improve your life. And I didn't know that. And when I found that out, I just ran like crazy all day, all night, super obsessed, bro. I had a job, another job after that. I worked as what was I working as a account executive for payment processing, credit card merchant processing. And I was working as that, and I'd literally go like out at lunch and like just talk to people like out of my lunch break. And sometimes it goes so well, I wouldn't go back to work. I would just like stay out talking to them to the end of the day. My boss would be like, "What happened?" I'm like, "I don't know. I got into a conversation." I just, they were like, "What are you talking about?" It was so weird at the time. And then my boss one day, he like went out to like the food court with me. I think I never forget his name. It's this Asian guy. I won't say his name here on camera though. This Asian guy. He went out to the food court with me, and then I saw somebody start talking to somebody. He was like, "Oh, what the?" This guy just started talking. He was telling the vice president about it. It was like the craziest thing he'd ever seen, because people didn't do that back in the day. It was just wild to like go and start a conversation with somebody, make friends, and sit down and have lunch with them. And it just changed my life. And of course, I ended up losing the job. My sales went horribly because I was leaving work all the time, just like disappearing. But I got this crazy skill that I knew would be profitable in the future. I was banking on it. I was like, this skill will help me in sales. I was doing sales at the time. This skill will help me if I decide to make friends. This skill will help me in public relations. This skill will help me in marketing. I just knew it would help me in all these different areas. It would contribute 10 to 20%, many different facets of my life. And that's why I just doubled down on it so hard.